Hello everyone and welcome to D&D News. I am Greg Tito and I am here to talk to you, everyone, about what is happening in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am excited because I'm going to Dungeon Master tonight, playing in our Waterdeep Dragonized campaign. Still, I think we've had generously, I will say we've had 10 sessions, maybe 12 over the more than a year since when we got started. But I am still kicking around. I think they're on third or fourth level. They are going to get into some stuff very soon, but I am excited also to start up a new campaign that is going to be, I'm going to be a player, I believe, in this one. In this campaign, Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, which comes out, this book, on September 17th. That is very soon, everybody. That is a week from today. I've got the real tome here in front of us. I think I showed this off a couple of weeks ago, but I always like to show off more. You just saw a ship. There's a ship in there. Whoa. That's a map for a ship. There's a lot of great things to love in this book. You will get them all. In fact, this is one of my favorite pieces that is in here. This is the city of Baldur's Gate itself. I'm angling it just so that the glare doesn't make it bad there. But fun facts, we actually got this image from our friends at Larian and how they're making Baldur's Gate 3. This was, for a very brief time, shot in the trailer that was shown on in June of this year, and we adapted it and put it into this book because we thought it was such a great representation of what the city looked like. So there it is for you all. There is also some awesome map of what the city of Baldur's Gate looks like. That's what it is from a top-down view. You'll see a couple of locations in there, including Elf Song Tavern, Basilisk Gate, and all the things that happen there. Little known fact, the conference room that is closest to the D&D team is called Elf Song Tavern, but it is now going away. So no worries about that. But it has been home to many meetings, many of them about the fact, story behind what is in this book. And there is just wonderful, wonderful artwork in here. There's an imp with a devilish contract being signed by someone. We shall see about that one. And yes, Wild Rose Mage and Jack's Not Funny. The maps generally are done by Dyson Logos for this adventure, which I love. Those are some of my favorite things in there. I'm just flipping through here because there's just always a wealth of fun things to show off, including a demon zapper. What? What's a demon zapper? Well, you're going to find out. I don't know if that's a demon zapper, but there's the text demon zapper right there. I mean, I know what it is. I just don't know if you know what it is. And there will be, of course, some madcap fun. Very fun. Yeah, no more Elf Song. No more at the conference room of No More Elf Song. Even though there is still some elf songs that will continue to be sung for years and years to come. So yes, this book is going to be in your hands, hopefully in about a week. There is a lot of other stuff to come. We will have more and more podcasts about what it was like to create this, as well as the wealth of streaming that has been happening over the course of the last few months since we announced this at D&D Live. I can't wait to hear the stories now from the community of people that begin to play in Baldur's Gate, in the plane of Avernus, or the layer of Avernus in the plane of the Nine Hells, and it's going to be really exciting. So pretty neat. We are going to be covering a whole bunch of other stuff here, and then we will, around 3:30, get ready to show you D&D Rewind, showing you some of the highlights from the last week here on twitch.tv/D&D. I'm also going to be opening up some blind boxes because those are super fun to do, as well as opening up this product, which is getting a lot of buzz from folks right now. This is the Dice and Miscellany set that will also be available on September 17th. I'll show you some of the artwork as well as the dice in there. And then we will cover some Adventurers League news, some things that are going on in the Dungeon Masters Guild, some press that's happening around the internet and the blogosphere, as they say. Does people actually use the word blogosphere anymore? Just me? Okay, great. Thank you. And then, of course, at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we have Pelham's Hot Mess, or should I say the return of Pelham's Hot Mess. We will be playing, I won't be playing, Pelham and a illustrious crew will be playing Tyrants of the Underdark. Perhaps not particularly on theme, but it is a fantastic board game set in the Underdark, in which you play as different drow houses, trying to vie for control of various territories below the Forgotten Realms. It is one of my favorite board games that the D&D team produced. It was made by Peter Lee, and I'm blanking on the other amazing designer, but I will look that up and get it to you. He now works, I know where he works now, Peter Lee. They were the designers behind Lords of Waterdeep. And that's really exciting. So that's going to be happening at the 4 o'clock hour here in this here thing. All right. Right, Rodney Thompson. Yes, Rodney Thompson and Peter Lee, two fantastic designers, and I was super excited. One of the first things I did when I was here was be able to play test Tyrants of the Underdark as they were making it. So you'll be able to watch all that happen at 4 p.m. Pacific time today. But don't worry, for next week on September 17th, the release of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, they will be playing on Pelham's Hot Mess, I've been told, Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, which is supremely apt. I like it a lot. Very cool. All right, so now on to what's happening in the news. I already told you all about Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. There are two amazing books out currently right now that you should pick up for your school-aged children if they want to learn more about what's happening in Dungeons & Dragons. And of course, I am talking about the Young Adventurer's Guides. These are amazing. And as soon as I will show you what they are, there we go. Warriors and Weapons, Monsters and Creatures. These are books, are ways to get into the themes behind Dungeons and Dragons, and they are great. I can't tell you enough great things that we've heard from parents, from kids who latch onto these books. They're shown in a way that is visually pleasing, all new artwork, no pickup art at all created for this product, specifically bringing the art style up from previous depictions of many of the things that are discussed in there, and they go into a whole bunch of themes. Monsters and Creatures obviously talks about some of the more thematic D&D monsters that you might meet in your travels. Warriors and Weapons is all about the martial arts, as it were, not in the way it's always talked about, but you know what I'm trying to say. Very, very cool. And the third one of that, Wizards and Spells, is coming out on March 10th. I'm sorry. There's going to be Dungeons and Tombs is coming out this fall on November 26th, delving into a whole bunch of what's it like to be an explorer in the underground dungeon areas. That is the cornerstone of a lot of D&D adventures out there. And then Wizards and Spells is programmed for March 10th, 2020. So look for that. I think the covers for both of those have been spoiled by Jim Zub, one of the primary writers on that project. So look for those at his Twitter page. They are fantabulous. The D&D Essentials kit is out now everywhere. You can get it at your Target store. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it in your big box store. You can get it in your small box store. You can get it in your medium-sized box store. It's fantastic. I enjoy it. There's lots of biddly bops and props that you can use, including portraits of sidekicks. Sidekicks are characters that you can use when you're dungeon mastering, perhaps one-on-one or with a smaller group, to add to the power behind your party. The maps in there are great. The adventure itself, Dragon of Icefire Peak, written by Chris Perkins, is a continuation, or at least in the same world as the Lost Mines of Phandelver that is in the starter set. It's fantastic. It gets in the adventuring right away. It is great for new dungeon masters as well as new players. I would suggest picking it up if you want to get your friends into playing both the dungeons and the dragons. We are, of course, really excited about all of the fun stuff. Let me show you some things that have been happening amongst other people that are excited about what is going on. So we've had a few reviews and or exciting things about Descent into Avernus over the last few days. This one I want to highlight from Polygon. It says, overall, I'm extremely impressed with Descent into Avernus. It's easily the best adventure module that Wizards has put out all year and a tremendous value given the amount of material inside. Very nice words. Thank you so much, Mr. Charlie Hall, for writing that up. Also, I want to highlight this from Yahoo Entertainment. You don't see Yahoo talking too much about what's happening in the Dungeons & Dragons universe, but here they are detailing what's happening with the Essentials Kit. It gives you an entire fantasy world in one handy box. That's pretty good. It's nice to have a fantasy world in one handy box. Sometimes I think it's this box or that box, but it's nice to have it all in one little thing. And then we have our friends at IGN have been doing episodes of a series, limited series they're calling Hellbound. Episode 3 just came out yesterday, and in it, their team tries to escape the nest of some horse-sized hell wasps and make 2 new friends in the process, though friend might not be the right word. I think Kate Welch did a fantastic job dungeon mastering for this group of people from IGN. I've been a huge fan of IGN since, the mid-90s, it feels like, when they were the source for all things video games. It's been something I've been going to over and over my entire career. I've been in their office a bunch of times when I was a game journalist, and I've gone to their mixers and whatnot. And it is I've even dungeon mastered there. In fact, when, that was true. Yeah, in San Francisco 2 or 3 years ago, I dungeon mastered, I believe it was Out of the Abyss. So around 2015 there. And played my adventure that I had done for Extra Life that year in their offices with a lot of their great people. So it's really cool to see IGN, which is traditionally much more video game focused outlet, delving more into tabletop games. And shout out to John Borba, the producer extraordinaire who made this possible. There's some great editing in there with sound effects and artwork to really bring that adventure to life. And you should check it out if you're interested in finding out more. If you want to get that Descent into Avernus fix before it comes out a week from today, please watch all those episodes. It'll get you in the mood. There is also something I wanted to highlight from our friends at geek.com, talking about the Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty starter set. It is now available for pre-order. That's it. That's the cover right there. I think it looks pretty fantastic. Here's what they have to say. The box set is inspired by the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons & Dragons comics, and will have everything a player would need to dive into a D&D adventure. That seems like a pretty tame pull quote, but everything about what is happening in that set is pretty cool. We're not calling that a starter set per se, but it is going to be coming out on November 19th, and it will have everything that you need to play in the Rick and Morty flavored version of Dungeons & Dragons that have been popularized by the comic books by Jim Zub and Patrick Rothfuss, continuing by Jim Zub and for the second volume of that Rick and Morty comic book series entitled The Painscape, which is coming out this fall as well. There's also, I believe, some new Rick and Morty, the series, the animated series episodes coming out around that time in November. So everything is going to be coming up Rick and or Dungeon and or Dragon and or Marty, very soon. So check it out if you haven't. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are into it. Tolwyn54 asks, when is Dragonlance coming back? Did it ever go away? You can totally buy those books now and just delve into them. They are fantastic. Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, in many ways, are the authors that got me into the world of Dungeons & Dragons, really conceptualized what it meant and how it was different than other traditional fantasy. And those books are still in print, still available. I think they're still bringing in people all the time. So jump in and I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for all fun things. Speaking of what the future holds, I am very excited to say that the program that all may read by the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. They recently, or in the last few months, released the Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition in a fully navigable form for audio, for those who are hearing impaired, or for visually impaired, to be able to go from one section of that book to the other. They were hard at work on doing that treatment to the Monster Manual as well as the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I've been told that those are nearly complete. So you look for more information about that at loc.gov. /that all may read. You'll get some information about when those are going to be coming out. I'm really excited. We had the Dots RPG project folks on the Dragon Talk podcast, and they were happy enough to give me this dice, the set of dice that is Braille dice. These are really cool. These are 3D printed, all by the Dots RPG. I learned all about them, and so we are just really excited here at Dungeons & Dragons about getting more and more people into the game, and see, I just love these. They look so cool, don't they? Right? So you can roll these on any type of thing and use your senses to see what is happening. One thing that I found interesting, and I didn't even think about until I saw these in front of me, there's edges here. I don't know if you can see those. The edges have kind of a dotted line on them right here, which you can feel and be like, okay, so that what means that's the bottom. That's how you can check it out. So very cool stuff. I love that more and more people are getting into making Dungeons & Dragons accessible for all types of people from all walks of life. We want you, because nothing really unifies humans more than a storytelling, more than getting together and telling stories with your friends. So that's very cool. All right, I am going to take the next couple of minutes and open up this. This, again, is the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus Dice and Miscellany set. Check it. This is what it comes like when you'll see it. It's a nice hard plastic. Now, and then it doesn't open. That's it. This is all you get. Sorry, you can like shake it around, and it's like bobbled. No. It opens this way, and this is two dice trays. So this is the dice are displayed in this way. I'll open them up in a little bit and show you what they look like and how they roll. But then it comes in a box like this, and there is a wealth of these. I'll go into these in a second. It's a horde of demons for there. But one thing I really want to show off was the construction of this box. So the box itself is a box that you can bring around, and of course it's detailed with the amazing logo for the symbol of Ball. For Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. It's got the ampersand on the back. This is a nice soft touch. Not really soft touch, I guess it's just a nice finish, but it's got felt or faux felt lined on the inside. You see, the way it is lighting looks like my hand is just going into nothingness. It is very, very cool. Solid construction. And you can do it like that. Here, and I'll open up the dice last, but I'll show you some of these things. So, it says Horde of Demons there. This opens up. This is actually a player map for what the a plane of Avernus looks like. Dun, dun, dun. You've got a size chart here for the different Legion of Devils, as well as the Horde of Demons, and what they might look like, and compare them to each other. There's also lots of just little individual bits. This is a trinket one finds in Avernus. So you can roll a d20 and get one of these. I'm going to roll these in a second and see what I get. Strange encounters that can be randomly rolled to see what you might encounter on the plane of Avernus, or the layer of Avernus. This is a little bit from Volo, our friend Volo, about what is going on there, and then a representation of the infernal script. And then here's what a Balgura looks like. A specific type of demon that is involved in the Blood War, and then a little description of what you might find. These are all from the voice of Volo himself. Here's what a Hezrau looks like, with more description on the back. We've got the smaller demons, the Quasits, as well as the Dretch. These stupid, smelly, and grotesque to behold dretches are among my least favorite creatures, says Volo. Here, I'll read a little snippet about this. Here, I'm doing it this way so that you don't say it. Some have said that I suffer from an inflated sense of self-importance, But when you've known throughout the universe, the multiverse, as a man of daring, what can you do but live and let live? I must admit, however, that my incorrigible daring-do has got me in hot water on more than a few occasions. Worst of all, when I ran afoul of the Balor Gerblaxatrox. Oh dear. This Balor Gerblaxatrox. Don't want to get him. Some people like Bone Devils. I don't like Bone Devils, especially if they look like that. The waspy things. Poor Volo. And he's got a little bit about here, the best meal that he had when he was in the Nine Hells. These are all really, really adorable. Here's an imp. And then here we get into the devils. Here is a pit fiend. Here's what a pit fiend might look like. And these can be done exactly like this. As you're encountering them with your players as Dungeon Master, you can throw these up and be like, here, this is what this looks like. Here is a spined devil, an ice devil. You might have seen some of the representations of these in the miniatures that I've been opening here on D&D Live. This is not the Platinum Box Tasmacon. This is from the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus Dice and Miscellany set that I'm opening up so that folks may see it. This is a bearded devil. He's a handsome devil, that bearded devil. I might be growing a beard soon just to get into it. Here is a barbed devil as well as a chain devil. And here is a little bit from Volo himself. I will read this aloud. Oh, that looks like a maze of some kind. Dear reader, it is I, Volothamp Gadarn, bringing tales from the infernal realms. To enter the Nine Hells, one must be foolish, unfortunate, nefarious, or fearless. Needless to say, I am the last of these. Whether you enter the plane of Avernus, the first layer of the Nine Hells, via a magical portal, the amnesiac river Styx, or a fantastic climb through a world tree, peril awaits. Here you hold my accounts describing fiends both diabolical and demonic, who rampage across Avernus and wage the eternal blood war upon one another. Allow this journal to be a warning to stay tucked up safe in your fluffy bed. Let Volo take the risks and suffer the diabolical consequences of curiosity. To adventure! And that's signed by Volothamp Gadarn. So that's the kind of thought behind what is going on with these descriptions of the devils from Volo himself. Here is the actual dice set for you to witness. I knew I was going to drop one. Here. That's what it sounds like when you roll on there. Pretty good, right? So I'm going to roll a d20, and again, there are 2 d20s in this set so that you can roll with advantage or disadvantage as the case may be. But I'm going to figure out what trinket I'm going to get in Avernus, and I'm going to roll a d20 to see which one. Oh, I got a 6. Okay, so I got a 2-foot-long feather. A character who succeeds at a successful DC 20 Arcana check can identify it as having come from an Aranyas. Ah, I see. Very cool. I like that there's a little bit of mechanics in there, too. A 2-foot-long feather. That's going to be weird for anyone to see. So a very cool set. Again, you can use the box itself as a dice tray, or you can share it and create 2 dice trays for use at the table. Very thematic, and it will match all of the color scheme that's going on with Descent into Avernus here. Da-da-da-da. See, it all kind of matches. It makes you feel like you're all in the same realm. Da-da-da. All right. Good stuff there. I will be opening up even more of these blind boxes in the second half hour of D&D News. Who here is excited to start playing Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus? Raise your hands. My character that because everyone's asking, of course, my character that I'm going to be playing for this, I have like a mood board for this character, which I've never really done before. But I do think visually, I think it's going to be really fun. My character is going to be a mashup between several different things. One is early David Bowie, probably Labyrinth David Bowie, as well as just different versions of Ziggy Stardust, as well as David Lee Roth from early Van Halen albums. Kind of that eclectic, androgynous, powerful bard figure. My character is going to be a bard. He will be dual wielding wands. So offensively, he'll be able to find as many wands as he can, hopefully ones with more powerful spells that he's able to cast on his own, but then be able to throw as many as he can. And he will also be a vocal bard, so that he will be using his wands as a microphone, a la early Bob Barker from The Price is Right. So just imagine early, let's say 1979, 1980, glam rock, androgynous, powerful bard who commands the stage, and it's going to be a ton of fun. I will, in fact, be checking out College of the Opera as my subclass. It is going to be very of interest to me, but I also think he might multi-class into Sorcerer as well, just trying to get some meta magic to blow up as many folks as he possibly can. But I'm excited about a character like that playing in this story, especially. I've already tried to come up with ways to sing songs like like I said, early Van Halen or early David Bowie ones, but turn the lyrics a little bit to make them more D&D-esque. So if anybody has any kind of inspiration there, who wants to take Panama and turn it into Baldur's Gate, we can certainly make that happen. I think, his career will begin in Baldur's Gate before he goes into Avernus with his party, or maybe he won't go into Avernus. I don't know. We'll have to all play it out. But I really love this concept, and I might even get a commission made of what he might look like. So I'm excited. All right, it is now time for, what is it? D&D Rewind. Yes, this is the segment on D&D News where we just show off all the amazing role-play moments, some of the best moments, the best clips of what has happened here on D&D, or twitch.tv/DND. So without further ado, let me get to where we can watch D&D Rewind for this week. Here we go. Selling my soul. Go.
A great war machine barreling its way towards you.
Yeah.
And that is where we begin today.
Yeah.
Specifically, Sid, if you wouldn't mind switching over.
Here we go. Here we go.
We've seen this.
We've already seen this.
Oh my god.
I have not seen this.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to say miniature, but it's not
I have not
mini,
seen that.
of
Holy
a war
God.
machine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg Tito.
Thank you, Greg Tito, for giving us this out while we're in Seattle.
Wow.
Had to buy a whole new case to bring this and our walking statue big boy to bring these home with me.
Is that animated?
Very large.
No,
miniature.
yeah, this is an animated armor, Kim. Yeah, this is. Let's look at the size. So this is the animated armor. Yeah.
So that is a
Leg.
That's so
like
big.
But thank you, Greg Tito,
times the
for this
size.
infernal war machine.
That's insane.
It's beautiful.
Firstly, I went to go gloat to Ingrid. I think it went very well, and we are going to be friends. But we met Constantina along the way, and we found out that it's been 2 years since we left Cartacus.
No, it hasn't. That's
has.
not possible. That's not possible.
It's never happened to me before.
We've traveled a lot, and that's never happened. That doesn't make any sense.
Constantina said her friend said it was 2 years later, and I talked to Ingrid, and she said a very specific year, and that year is 2 years later from the year it's supposed to be.
Well, I wouldn't trust Ingrid. She's really dumb, but I don't understand we haven't been gone that long.
I don't know.
That's enough time for the entire world to change.
Have you seen Varghese?
I haven't.
The year is 738.
Dope.
Do you ever think of the different ways something could go?
Yeah, way too often.
Imagine that. And then each of those, imagining each way each thing could go. And in each of those, the way each thing could go. And take all of those and stack them simultaneously. I see all the possibilities and all the realities. I see the version where all of you are destroyed over and over. So yes, this time we're here, we're safe. Not in all of those other times.
Sounds like what I've been thinking about for 6 years was like that moment where I got back, how that was gonna go. I spent a lot of time thinking about that moment, and when things were bad, it was hard to think about it being a good thing, about me ever getting back. And when things were getting better, I was all excited to be able to come back and do something and help. But if I wasn't hopeful that the thing that would actually happen was the good thing, I don't know if I could have made it. So I had to think about coming back and everything being okay, or at least being able to do something to help. So I don't know how you do that all the time. I'm sorry, but at least we can keep trying, right?
Boss, it's good to see you again, and so soon. Yeah. Who is this beautiful maiden you've brought with you?
Beautiful as she may be, she's...
Wait, the organization prides themselves on knowledge that nobody else knows. Who am I?
Ah.
You've been challenged.
So, let me look at you. Obviously high elven born, like myself, as he plays with his golden hair. So, you're better than the rest. And that is definite by your looks. Eloquent in your taste and dress. Probably very knowledgeable, as you are challenging me to knowledge. You're Vinley.
Oh, I love that.
I feel like there's gotta be somewhere out there. This is a great opportunity to make like a werewolf, like clone, but make it the werewife. And then
Who's
it's
the
a
good
tie-in
wife?
for the show, and you have to figure out who the good wife is amongst a group of wives. Oh, I'm sold. It's good. I don't know anything about.
I
I'm
have
designing a
15
game for a
points
show I've
in it.
never seen. Perfect.
15 points in good, but only 3 in wife. So
Oh, I see. So it's like a lasers and feelings thing where you have 2 stats: goodness and wife, and you can only use one or the other. And as wife goes up, good goes down. Okay, all right.
yeah.
Good. Okay, game design. It's happening.
Wife is my dump stat is the new teacher.
I'm really digging all this Katie May merch we're inventing today. Wife is my dump stat. And less anime, more Katie May.
Hello, I believe I'm back. I got a little bit confused here with viewing of things, so apologies if you were looking at that for a little bit long there, but welcome back. I am here. That was awesome. That was D&D Rewind. So many great moments from the past week. If you guys would love to nominate new things back into to be included by Steve Sprinkles into editing together that D&D Rewind every week as he does. One of the best ways to do that is to create a clip using the twitch.tv framework. Go ahead and do that if you can, and then tag people through social media. Let people know what you liked about one of the funniest moments or the most best role-playing moments or anything over the last week, and those will rise to the top, and Steve will put them in there. So I love that we've been able to highlight so many great groups over the last couple of months doing these things, and we'll continue to do more. And thanks to you out there who have been nominating clips as the whole thing has been going, so thank you. I appreciate that. Moving on to some D&D Adventurers League news before we get to Pelham's Hot Mess. That is happening at 20 minutes or so from now at 4 p.m. Pacific time. The Adventurers League, in case you don't know, is D&D's official play campaign, which means you can create a character that is within the Adventurers League and bring it to different areas, whether it's your local game store, convention, anything like that. You'll be able to drop in and play with appropriate tiered content for you, for adventures for you. Each season comes out with new stories that usually tie or definitely tie to our book releases that are out there. So we are getting ready for season 9, which is going to talk all about Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. We talked about the season 9 rules for D&D Adventurers League. And you can check those out at dndadventurersleague.org. There is a preview of one update there, and that is starting this season. If you create a character to play the current season, you get special seasonal perks or incentives. For example, your character could have Inherited Malevolence, a magical common item made from human skin, blood red crystals, or other features on an Infernal Legacy table in the Adventurers League Player's Guide. If you are interested in checking out more information about Season 9 specifically, go to dndadventurersleague.org/Season 9 Campaign Documentation Release, or if you just go to the main hub there too, you'll be able to figure it out. Skin sounds really exciting. We have some great photos to share from people who have come all the way from Taiwan. So let's look at those now. Here are photos from Taiwan's first Adventurers League group. Craw's Adventurers League. It takes place in Taiwan Taichung City, North District in the Arkham Library. So that's a cool looking library right there. Here's the quote that they gave us. We are a group of D&D enthusiasts. We have worked hard to get people to know D&D Adventurers League and get everyone to enjoy the wonderful world such as D&D. And that's from Hanlon, and I'm going to mess up the pronunciation, so I apologize in advance. Hanlon Tajoda Wu, a.k.a. Silver Craw, who is the head organizer of all of these events, and that is awesome. This is the first group in Taiwan, so thank you so much for bringing the world of D&D to this new community, and we are excited to see what it is like for people playing Dungeons & Dragons in a different part of the world. Or even just in different areas all over the world. Such good fun stuff. That photo is very cool, and I appreciate it. So if you would like to get your Adventurers League group highlighted here on D&D News, you can do that. You can send your photo to community@dndadventurersleague.org and give us a group shout out for what's happening with your group. You can include the location of where you are, any information that you're comfortable sharing. We will talk about it here and give a fun little shout out. And of course, we've been getting a lot of submissions from different countries, but we also want to hear domestically. We want to hear all over the world what it is like for you to play Dungeons & Dragons and show off your group. So pretty cool stuff. Okay, moving on to the D&D Dungeon Masters Guild.com. Lets you publish your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition creations for fun and profit. It's the only platform where you can publish adventures that use Wizards IP like Ravnica or Ravenloft or an other R-sounding thing. Also the Forgotten Realms. See, there's an R in there too. You thought I was going to not do that in there. But anyway, here's some news that's going on with the Dungeon Masters Guild today. We released a new charity bundle supporting Random Acts. Till September 20th, you can get $90 worth of D&D PDFs for only $10. This bundle is packed with random tables for your table, dungeon generators, wacky encounters, crazy tables, more for your D&D campaign. You can check that all out at the Random Acts charity bundle right now. Random Acts inspires many amazing things around the world every day, from small acts of kindness such as inspiring someone to buy a stranger a cup of coffee, to much bigger acts of kindness like building a school in San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua. If you want to find out more about Random Acts, go to randomacts.org, and here's the cover for what that is going to look like on the Dungeon Masters Guild right now. We've got another great thing to highlight here for the Dungeon Masters Guild. One of the great aspects about it, the whole community, is that they're always bringing fresh, unique takes to Dungeons & Dragons. And one title that's doing this is called, I want to make sure I pronounce this right, Garzalax's Guide to Ancestry Perspectives. Guide to Ancestry. And here's the cover of that, and that's what it looks like. It is by Adam Hancock and Laura Herzbrunner. Garzalax's guide provides a new and innovative way to use race in your 5th edition games. No longer do you need to settle for restrictive language or tethered ability scores or things like that if you use this supplement. I think this is really cool. Some of the fun things in here is that it removes race restrictions, giving your characters the ability to customize a modular ancestry. It removes ability scores, increases from ancestry or race, with options to place them into different mechanics such as backgrounds, classes, feats. It rebalances all the ancestries with a point buy system, and as well it provides easy mechanics for all types of different half races. It also provides all the features for ancestries in the Player's Handbook, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, Elemental Evil, Sword Coast Adventure's Guide, and Volo's Guide to Monsters. Sounded like Bob there for a second. Monsters. And you can check it all out, and that's a pretty good looking cover. Anything that has a Mind Flayer on the cover is looking pretty good for me. So check that out if you're interested on a new take on how to incorporate race within your D&D game. I think that's pretty cool. All right. We have done a bunch of partner products that have been coming out in support of all bunch of things. So WizKids, of course, has been making these amazing miniature bundles available. There's 45 figures for the Descent into Avernus line. I've already popped this open because that's sometimes the hardest part to do it. So let me open up this one here and see which of the 45 figures I get in this blind box and show them to you guys. Let's hope I don't get too many repeats from what I got last time. Or the previous times I've done this. Ooh, look at this. Here is a Furbog. Dun, 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 dun. I love how WizKids is combining their wild magic effects with their miniatures. Furbolgs, of course, are a little bit taller than medium-sized creatures usually are depicted. So, I don't know. That looks pretty awesome. Furbog Druid could be used as anybody's PC in an upcoming game. That's figure number 1. Figure number 2 in this box is a Spined Devil. You saw these guys already being talked about within the Dyson Miscellany set. Here's a Spined Devil. It's a flying devil, which always is a good addition for your miniatures. Not everybody has flying ones. You can use them for other flying things if you want to just quickly throw them in there. But that is going to be really come in handy during Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. I got another Abyssal Chicken, everybody. Oh, but it's dead now. I just dropped it. Sorry, gone. No more. Not alive anymore. Bye-bye, Abyssal Chicken. Ooh, this is a new one, though. I don't think I've gotten this guy. Here is a Yagnoloth. Dun, dun, dun. I am a Yagnoloth. I've got one really big, strong arm in my left arm, and I've got this magical thing I'm going to do here. He looks pretty gross. You might have to mess him up if he starts messing with you and your group. He's a modest devil, though, okay? So he's got a nice little loincloth there to protect the nether regions. I'm talking about the 9 hells, for those of you who are in the gutter. But that looking pretty good. Fantastic. Okay, that is box number 1. Good haul there for everyone involved. I am very interested in some other fun stuff that's coming out. I'll open up maybe another one of those as we get closer to Pelham's Hot Mess, which is starting in just about 15 minutes. We've got, we talked about these before. I don't have any of them with me, but there are bag clips that are out there by a partner called Monogram. There's a whole bunch of these. I was saying before how my daughters love clipping stuff onto their book bags as they're going to school, and these are perfect for that. In fact, I brought them into the office just briefly over the weekend, and I showed them those blind bags full of stuff, and my daughter was very excited. I didn't think she was going to be excited about this one, but my youngest daughter got very excited about the, I believe it was a human fighter. So it's a guy, he's got a beard, and he's got a sword sticking up straight, kind of cartoony, a little bit in how the sculpt looks. But she said she really loved it, and it reminded her of Dad. So she clipped it onto her little purse that she had with us as we were going to a party, and it broke my heart / melted it. It was very sweet. But there are other characters that you can get in these blind bag things: Red Dragon, Tiefling Rogue, Dwarf Paladin, Half Elf Ranger, Demogorgon, a Sararak. The owlbear is very cute, and a beholder. You can get those in select Hot Topic stores, or you can purchase them online, and they're really cool. So worthwhile to check them out. I'll bring them back in so you can see the actual physical product soon. There is also a Red Dragon gamer pouch out there from our friends at Ultra Pro. It is a soft plush Red Dragon dice pouch with a zipper compartment. You might remember the owlbear version of these coming out for Ultra Pro before. It's a very kind of cute plush type feel, and it can hold a bunch of dice within it. So look for those. That's only $13.99 out where you get most of your fun stuff. There is also a lot of comic book news I want to throw out there for you guys. So Dungeons & Dragons: A Darkened Wish is a fantastic series. We talked a lot about issue 1, but issue 2 and I believe 3 are coming out very soon. Issue 2 is already out, of course, and selling out like hotcakes. It is written by B. Dave Walters with artwork by Tess Fowler. I'm excited about where this series is going. It goes back and forth between very high level movers and shakers within the fantasy world, and then flashbacks to when they were first and young and level 1 and coming on the scene. So if you're interested in a new take on a D&D story in a comic book form, check those out if you would like. There is now all the trades for the Rick and Morty versus Dungeons & Dragons comic book series, at least the first mini series. So that's issues 1 through 4. You can get those out in most places where you purchase books and or comic books. And the new version, not new version, but the next iteration of that story written by Jim Zub is coming out. It's called The Painscape, again this fall. Look for that. And then there is also a whole nother thing that Jim Zub and Max Dunbar, the artist, are working on for the Legends of Baldur's Gate. That is published by our friends at IDW. The release date is November 30th for Dungeons & Dragons Infernal Tides. It is a 5-issue miniseries that delves into the mythology that has been established by Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. Jim Zub is credited as a story consultant on Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, so he was there working with Jim Zub and a lot of the writers on that story. So he infuses this comic book series with a lot of that, also taking his storytelling from the Legends of Baldur's Gate series. So Minsk and Boo, other characters have been traveling through some of the D&D stories that we have been telling in 5th edition, including Storm King's Thunder and the Curse of Strahd and Barovia. They are now going to Baldur's Gate and perhaps into Avernus in Dungeons & Dragons Infernal Tides. Again, look for that on November 30th. Release the first issue to release that. Let me read you the quick snippet of text. Minsk and his friends are caught in the middle of devil-tainted corruption that has taken hold of Baldur's Gate. Unraveling the secret of its source will take the heroes to unexpected places and threaten the sanctity of their very souls. Even if they survive this perilous journey, there will be hell to pay. Good stuff. If you have not seen it, I suggest watching from D&D Live the session in which Jim Zub shaved his head, put on the makeup to look like Minsk from the Baldur's Gate series, and in this thing, Matthew Mercer, of course, played Boo, the miniature giant space hamster that is Minsk's traveling companion. Good stuff all around, and we'll get you into what is happening with Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. One little note about Rick and Morty versus Dungeons & Dragons 2, The Painscape. I told you about that. It's Jim Zub is the writer. Troy Little is the artist. The release date for that is September 18th. So that is coming up. It's just 8 days away. A week and a day after from today. So make sure you also tell your local game shop about that. And put it on your pull list, buddy. Extra Life 2019. I want to tell you all about this. I'm excited. We have been doing Extra Life promotions for 7 years here in the Dungeons & Dragons office. This is the 7th year. We've raised more than $500,000 over that time for the kids, for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. A lot of our donations go to Seattle Children's Hospital here in this area. My daughter has traveled to get treated at the Seattle Children's Hospital, so this means a little bit closer, near and dear to my heart. I have an Extra Life page up. Please go to it and donate as much as you can. Many of the creators and people here on the Dungeons & Dragons channel will be doing more and more talking about how to raise money for the kids, and it's just really a great cause. We'll be having a lot more games focus on this in the November 2nd to early November timeframe. We'll be focusing on it and making sure everyone knows what drives your eyeball to get out there. There's lots of content that's now available on the Dungeon Masters Guild that if you purchase it, all the proceeds will go towards Extra Life. We'll have more information about that coming up. There's also some t-shirts that you can purchase at customink.com. We have a whole bunch of designs that our amazing graphic designer Emmy Tangi have been doing over the last few weeks. I want to point you to the one that I believe is up now, which includes Slobber Chops. Here, let me just make sure that's actually still up. Not the problem, but one of the things about these Custom Ink promotions is that they don't they're not forever. You know, they have an ending thing. So we currently have a lot more available. Actually, no, we got 33 days to go on these Slobber Chop ones. So purchase them if you can. I love them. I think the Slobber Chops design is very cool. It's got the Infernal script as well as the tagline that we've used for this in the past. Be a hero, play D&D. And I believe the one that says Slobber Chops 2019... Oh, and look, there's a link right there from you guys. I love this one because on the back, I don't know if you can see it. You kind of have to make sure you click through and see the back. Or can you? Can you even see it? I don't think you can. Dang it. There's a really cool... oh, no, you can. Oh, that just says Extra Life on the back. Hold on. Stay with me here. Okay, so these just say the Extra Life 2019, which is an awesome logo put together by my friend and office mate Emmy Tangi. So check it out. It's good stuff. If anybody of you is a fan of Dragon Talk, we will be recording this week with Cicero Holmes from Rivals of Waterdeep. We'll be interviewing him about the new season that he is dungeon mastering for. It's season 5 of Rivals of Waterdeep. That I'm really excited about that. That starts on September 22nd. Cicero is a fantastic guy. We've shared all about our stand-up comedy days and what it was like doing all that, our love of Star Trek, and I can't wait to pick his brain about how he's going to approach dungeon mastering for this season of Rivals of Waterdeep. Before we had brought them into the fold, I don't believe Cicero had played a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, so in the last 2 years, he has really... not even 2 years, it was a year and a few months, he's really blossomed into a full-on Dungeons & Dragons player, and I can't wait to talk about and let you in on his journey on how that has all gone. It's been pretty cool. But the reason why I mention it now is Extra Life. If you donate a certain amount, I will certainly call you out on an extra or a Dragon Talk episode. There's a smaller option there. If you want to donate even more, you can be a guest on Dragon Talk. So that's some things, and I'm looking for more ideas on ways to raise money for the kids by doing it. So maybe we can do stuff through D&D News or any other fun things that you can think of here on the twitch.tv/D&D channel. Come at me. I'm at Greg Tito. If you've got a great idea for something that I can offer, we don't really want to do physical goods because that can get you a little bit hard to manage, especially as we start doing a lot more of that. But I want to do something, and if you have a good idea and something that you want, that you would donate money to Extra Life in order to get from me, let me know, and I will make it happen. Great. You guys are all fantastic. I am going to give this up now to Pelham's Hot Mess. If you want to follow me, I'm at Greg Tito on Twitter. There will be a new episode of what am I trying to say? Oh, a new issue of Dragon Plus, the app in which you'll get a whole bunch of stuff coming in the next few days, so look for that. But in the meantime, watch Pelham's Hot Mess coming up in just a few minutes while they play through the fun and engaging board game called Tyrants of the Underdark, one of my faves. So stick around. And I'll see you later. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. You're all the best.